We're live. So we're going to jump right into this. You see the names. Everyone is here. If you don't know us, you're about to know us. So we're about to talk about the state of the Dallas Cowboys, where they are, of my opinion, everyone's opinion here. I appreciate everybody. So we are going to jump right into it. We're not going to waste any time. All right. So based on this right now, we are 2-2. We're about to go into our bye week. I'm going to start off because Brian was mentioning this before we started on the air of where they are now. How do you guys feel about the team? How do you feel about the coaching? How do you feel about the present and the future of what the Cowboys are? So Brian, impressions. We just got away from the Giants game. We got the victory, but what do you feel about the state of the team currently right now?
Man, work in progress. Um, all I can say is work in progress, bro. I don't have no confidence in the offensive side of the ball, period. Like it's like the offensive side of the ball, I don't know what they're doing. I was just watching the all 22, finishing up watching the all 22, and it's like the concept is like just nothing matches. Nothing matches the talent that we have on the field. Nothing matches. Nothing try to help the quarterback get a little bit easier throws, get him a rhythm. We have no running game, no confidence in the running game. Um, Defensively, I like what I saw Thursday night. Yeah, it was the Giants, but when you watching defense, you want to watch. When I watch defense, I can't say what everybody else. I watch what everybody do. Everybody doing their job, and to me, Thursday night it seemed like everybody was in their gap with nobody trying to play hero ball. Donald was more around the line of scrimmage, which I like that adjustment to get him from being that second high safety and the two high look, keeping him down close to the line of scrimmage. He was bringing heat. Demo, boy, I can write. I can talk 20, 30 minutes about him. Mozzie had a very noticeable game. Like to me, Mozzie was upbeat. Like I haven't seen him talking a little smack. He was using moves. He was, arm over. He was, going the backside A gap playing plays. So the state of the Cowboys for me, I'm 50-50 right now. I don't know where the
Okay.
team gonna go because we got a gauntlet coming up, and I don't know where we going, bro. I don't.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get my thoughts and then we're gonna go along. I think currently right now they are not a legitimate NFL heavyweight. I do not think this team is
Mm,
built for the long run. We cannot stop the
mm,
run. We cannot run the football. We have issues which me and Willie have discussed for many of the times. They did not address any of this in the offseason. They didn't address it
mm,
in the offseason before then. We do not have a running game. We do not have candidates that are seeming to be able to be the guy that can run the football. I do agree with Brian. I think Mozzie has looked very well. I think Overshawn had one of his better games. I think those are nice, good pieces. I think this team is filled with too many me first players and not enough
mm,
team players. I
mm,
think the Giants game was good in the sense that it's a victory. A win is a win in the NFL. We've seen worse teams beat good teams. But when you look at the state of the team and what we have seen, which is not only this season, but last season, which is carried over, we see a level of selfishness. We see no one calls anyone out. I mean, the team, I believe, is, and this is not a shot towards the quarterback. I'm not about to talk about the play of the quarterback. I don't have a problem with his play. But being him of a leader, I would have liked to have seen him 2 weeks ago, not the Giants game, but the game before, to literally call somebody out. It's his team. We know this is his team. So that would have been a good thing. But I don't want to end the criticism with him as well. Michael Parsons, not a leader. CD Lamb, not a leader. And it seems like our best players are not don't have any type of leadership qualities to rally us. If anything,
mm,
at times they point the finger or they say a lot of things that I don't believe that they're saying. They're just kind of saying it. And you don't see anything with the head coach and with the front office. They seem every year that they pay Dak Prescott more money, they seem to strip him of more talent. So he doesn't seem to be able to have more options. At one point, he did have a much, much better offensive skill position players, But every year they seem to digress. I do not want to hear anything about Jerry Jones talking about Derrick Henry, because me personally, I do not think you needed to go get Derrick Henry. I think you needed to draft a young running back. So they don't have to use that. Also, about them talking about the salary cap. No one told them to pay Tony Pollard $10 million. No one told them to pay Dalton Schultz $10 million. No one told them to extend Jalen Smith earlier. No one told them to do any of those things. So they have gotten to this point. So we have a front office problem. We have a ownership problem. We have a coaching problem. And unfortunately, we have a players problem. Now, this team does have talent, but we all see they don't have any type of confidence. And for them to say that the Ravens game and the New Orleans game does not resemble the Green Bay game shows me how delusional that they are as a unit, because you got beat 3 times at home by teams that you probably was favored going in. I don't know about the Ravens one, but I definitely know they was favored going against New Orleans. So to me, their present doesn't look as great. Their future is very hazy because we have no stability. Because also as a player, do you necessarily respect the coach that may be on a 1-year deal? I don't necessarily believe that. So I think this team has troubles right now. I have no belief in them. They're going to have to prove it to me, but I have no belief in them. But I do think they have some very nice young talent. I just don't know if McCarthy is that particular coach for them anymore. I think Dallas needs to hire a coach that's going to make things uncomfortable, not a coach that seems like he just wants to have the job. And unfortunately, McCarthy seemed to, at one point, I was like, because everyone knows, I was like, this seems a positive hire. But then when you see that he told us when he left Green Bay, I will never allow someone else to call the plays. And then Kellen Moore calls the plays. And then he refers to when people question him about the offense, the first thing he says is, well, this is Kellen's offense. So that makes me wonder, is he just happy to have the job? Also, he had a particular team when he was with Green Bay. They won a Super Bowl, and it doesn't even seem like the team that we have now even resembles that. Dan Quinn, position coaches, coordinators seem to have more of a say of how to build the team as opposed to the head coach. So with that being said, Chris, your thoughts? Can you hear me? Chris, can you hear me?
You kind of going in and out. I don't know if it, because I ain't have my other.
Can you hear me now?
Hit you, so you kind of going in and out.
Can you? Can the rest of you guys hear me?
Yeah, you fine. Yeah, you fine. I didn't lose you the whole time. You good?
I hear you all the time.
Okay. I'll switch, Chris. Maybe it's an audio thing. If you want to drop out or look at the audio, I don't have you on mute. I'll go to Willie. Thoughts about what is the state of the team right now? We'll get back to you, Chris.
Okay.
I think it's a summary of years of building a team to their liking, not actually building a team that is designed to beat the teams that have been beating them for years. They have not ever fixed weaknesses. They just go out and just build a team to they like it. Oh, we want to bring back Zeke. We want to have a big 3 kind of offense. It's to the point where they just build a team to their liking. They're not building a team that can win Super Bowl. And I don't know. I mean, and then with the stuff that they do in the offseason, they don't think it affects everything that they do. It does. It affects everything. You could have got, if we did all these things, you had like right now, we have $20-something million in cap rules. You could have went and got somebody with that. You sign your players early. But instead, you don't do that, and you don't want to sign anybody. You don't want to go out in free agency and get somebody that can actually help your team, help a weakness. And other teams do this. Go look at the teams that have been to the Super Bowl lately. They go out and get some kind of a guy out there in free agency. They get somebody out there or either trade for a guy that's going to actually fix a problem. But they don't do that. And it's a summary of years of them constantly doing that and then plugging them with dudes that you can get out of the bargain basket. And there's once in a while you get a curse. You get a hooker who's good for a couple of years, but now when you re-sign him for $8 million, $4 million, he's not worth it now. It was good when you were getting him out the bargain basket, but now you sign him to a couple of year contract and he's not playing that good right now. And then I'm trying to understand why we sit around here with guys that probably can actually help the defense, and they sitting on the bench. Why? I don't know. But It's just the same old thing. The money is running the team like usual. $4 million is good. It's sold to a point, or $8 million is to a point where you can't put the best player out on the field. I mean, are they even subbing them in, John? That is where you get to the point. Y'all don't even see them subbing them in.
No, they haven't subbed. They haven't subbed any. They haven't did any subbing. They haven't did any subbing in. I'm not a big advocate, but I'm not. But to answer one of your questions about the 20+ million, they're not. That's money. I believe they're going to roll over for next year to extend Michael Parsons.
I know they go. That's the plan. That's the plan. And then they're gonna do it again. They're gonna wait about 2 weeks before the season starts. It's sign Michael Parsons, but they could just won't go ahead and just sign the dude. You're gonna give him the money anyway. What? You're gonna give him the money. You're not gonna let him walk.
That comes back to establishing stability.
But the state to me right now, this is a year we're not. I mean, the murder row that we're finna go on right now, the murders row that we're finna go on right now. I don't believe it's a playoff team, and I'm not. And particularly, I'm okay with that. You know why? I think it'll serve well for us to be in the middle of the draft this year. Maybe we can find some talent that can help us out, because they're not gonna go and sign anybody to help the team. So we need to get better talent. So what 1 year out of 5? I mean, out of the last 4? I mean, yeah, we didn't make the playoffs. Well, so we'll be all right.
Okay.
I think we can handle it.
I got you.
Right now, I have completely no faith in this team.
Got you, Don. Your thoughts? Anything different?
Yeah, just piggybacking on really what Willie said. The problem with that is, if they're going to be bad again this year, you're going to be looking at another coach. You're going to be looking at probably all new coaches all together.
Oh, absolutely.
So
that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
Let them talk.
It's not a bad thing, but yeah, that's definitely one of the things that you're definitely going to be looking at. But overall, when you talk about the Cowboys, I mean, some of the things that I just don't understand is, and Willie kind of touched on it too, is you have a problem stopping the run. You don't do anything to address that at all. And for some reason, it must be Jerry. He falls in love with players, and they always try to it's funny how they try to sign guys a year early and think they're getting bargains, but yet they won't let go of guys a year or two early too when they're not performing.
Give an example.
Well, I mean, you run out, you grab somebody like Malik. I'll give Malik Hooker. Why are you signing him early? Why did you even extend him in the first place? That to me was kind of a questionable one to me. I mean, why don't you just have a guy behind him and develop him and just let him play out his contract?
They actually did. They actually had 2 guys that was ready.
Mm-hmm.
They also found a free safety in Julius Wood, which I was like, okay, I'm cool with cutting Hooker and just kind of moving on. But
exactly,
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. But as you were saying, it's puzzling. It's puzzling.
Yeah, and so that puzzles me. And then you carry that onto the field and you look at some of the decisions we make. Like, okay, I got it. We don't have a good running back, but then we take Deuce Vaughn, who's the smallest guy on the field, and we tell him to run in between the tackles, and that's what we're gonna do. And I'm thinking, man, whenever he gets on the field, it's like there's no surprise. The ball is going to him. I think I saw one play, the last play where he actually was pass blocking, where the ball didn't go to him when he was in the game. And so, that some of the substitution, the personnel matchups, I just don't get it. I don't understand why we're trying to put him and Turpin on the field at the same time. And I don't get why we're trying to throw, these sideways passes to Turpin to try to get him some touches or whatever. But then that's not his game. His game is more of a vertical threat. So it's like I don't understand why we don't use players, which to their best of their ability. Comeback
don't forget the curl routes too.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. The comeback routes to Cooks, like first of all, like McCarthy, like you got to know your quarterback. Your quarterback is not the most accurate player, and I'm not bashing quarterback. I'm just saying he's not that accurate. Sometimes he's not pinpoint accurate all the time. Why are you asking him to throw in a small, tiny window to a guy who's 5'10" that doesn't have a big catch radius, and he's a body catcher? So he's not going to go out there and grab it with his hands unless he absolutely has to. So I don't understand that. Then we got other receivers behind him which I don't know. I don't know what they are, Tolbert and Brooks, and it's like I don't get it because I know when I watch McCarthy when he's in Green Bay, he always had a receiver that nobody heard about, and all of a sudden just came out of nowhere, and that receiver was good.
Mhm.
It's like he developed receivers, and I'm like, I just don't see it with the receivers we got. None of them seem to be progressing. I mean, yeah, it might be still early to tell about Tolbert, but I still don't see it with him. Some of the stuff
I
that
mean,
he
I
does.
will say this: the last two
Mm.
games, I know they were blowout games,
Mhm.
but there were routes like where he played later in the fourth quarter, routes that he was running that I saw those routes he ran in college, but I never really see them having him run those routes earlier in the game. So it's
Again,
always, yeah, it's
Yeah.
confusing. It's like the traits that I think some of the players are better at. They never seem to have them ask them to do that. They always seem to
Right.
have these guys do like you said about Deuce. I'm like, he never runs off tackle. That was always something I thought he was better at. They having him run inside. Like you said, they have the smallest guy do a curl routes and a small catch. It's just confusing to me. I have no idea what they're calling. Like,
And I
I
think
also want.
so. When
I also
you
want. Oh, go ahead. I just want to say one other thing is this blocking scheme.
hold on. I don't want to get
It's
into
not.
that. Let him finish.
It's not working.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so the last thing I was gonna say too is like, yeah, I mean, when you look at it as a whole, it doesn't seem like we come out with any kind of decisive plan on where we're attacking, like where the ball needs to go. It doesn't look like we've identified weaknesses. It just looks like we're just running offense. When I look at it, it's like, all right, we put all the weight on the quarterback, and then it's like you got, you're not giving him any receivers. CD is the only person between CD and Ferg. That's it. Those are the only options that are out there. Every now and then, Cooks will show up. Every now and then, the ball will go to Tolbert. But I mean, other than that, you don't really have any. You don't have any man beaters. You don't have anybody that can go out there and it's like, all right, this is third and 6. I got a guy like I'm gonna throw it to him in a tight window. He's gonna get it. It's like we don't have those receivers, and I'm like, man, you're asking a lot for your quarterback, and you're asking a lot for your offense. And I think when it works when you play against the Giants. But when you play against some of the better teams, man, they're gonna shut those two down. Somebody else is gonna have to step up.
I agree. Coach Williams, thoughts?
Man, you guys have said a mouthful. I have a couple of things. One, we talking about stopping the run. I think we talked about that before we came on live. Because we mentioned Margie Smith doing a good job against the Giants, but I was talking to one of my friends a couple of days ago, and I said, look, listen, the last time we really, truly invested in either the defensive line or just the front seven alone, you got to go almost all the way back to Bill Parcells. When he drafted DeMarcus
I have one question. When you say invest, in what way? Because everybody's not going to understand what you mean. So elaborate.
So when I say invest, I mean like put resources in it. I mean draft picks, free agency. Okay, that's what I mean. And I'm talking about invest heavily. They drafted DeMarcus Ware in 05. They drafted Marcus Spears in 05. They drafted Chris Canty. They drafted Jay Ratliff. They drafted Jason Hatcher. They brought in Aiken Adele. They brought in Alshon Singleton. They Brady James was drafted in 03. Like that's between 03 and 05. If you go back and look at those off seasons.
Oh no, I remember. I just wanted
I'm saying if you go back and look at those 3 off seasons, that's when they really truly invested in front seven. They drafted Bobby Carpenter and Anthony Spencer as well in following years. But I'm just saying, like, it's been a long time since Dallas truly invested in front seven players.
Well,
and to me, that's
I'll say this. I'm not one to defend, but they have not like that. They've never. What I mean is like what you're saying. They've never did a defensive draft, another defensive draft, and another defensive draft. They usually get somebody like a Malik Collins, get flash his rookie year, and then he won't show anything, and they'll keep him around. They'll give it to Will Gallimore. He'll show some rookie year. You don't show that second year, third year, they'll still keep him around. So they never seem to like double up like they did the offensive line this year. We drafted 3 offensive linemen. I've never seen us do that since Bill Parcells drafting 3 defensive linemen, like and within one draft. So yes, I do agree with you there.
And that's true. Also, now I'm gonna switch over to offense. I was listening to what y'all say about Tolbert and Cooks. One thing we don't do is we don't use these players the way they have been used in the past that made them good. Okay. Cooks has been with the Sean McVays and the Sean Paytons. Okay. Tolbert, whatever made him successful in college, they should be using Tolbert those ways. And also, and it was brought up this week by Orlowski and also Mina Kimes. We've already addressed that we don't have a run game, but screen game is non-existent. And because we don't have a run game, play action game is non-existent.
Exactly. I agree.
So when y'all say everything is on Dak Prescott, you're right. Everything is on Dak Prescott's shoulders to truly carry the load of this offense.
And I don't think he's the type of quarterback that is built to play from behind. I think he's better being a quarterback that plays from ahead. I remember me and Don have talked about this many times. I want him throwing the ball 20, 25 times. I do not want him throwing the ball 30 plus. I just do not think he's the type of quarterback that's built there. For you Romo stands, before y'all jump in, I thought the same thing about Romo. I thought 25.
I get him.
Yeah, before they even jump in, I thought the same thing with Romo. Every quarterback is not built. There's only very few, and I ain't talking just Pat Mahomes. There's ones in the past who is a little built for, okay, I can do this, but all of them need a running game. But I just think certain guys, once they get into that 30 area, it's just bad things start to happen for them. And it's not their fault. It's just the type of players they are. So
my cutoff for Dak is 35. If you anything over 35, anything over 35 for him, because you're running 60 plays, you running 60 to 65
I know you're running 60.
Game.
I don't want him throwing
no, but I'm saying that's my cutoff. That's my maximum. Anything over 30, anything over 35 for him, to me, he gets into a little trouble. If you keep him around 30, 35 attempts a game, he's good. He's very efficient. The problem is though with him is that he's better as a play action quarterback, and you got to have a run. You got to have run attempts. I don't even care sometimes if you get 1 yard. Just run the damn ball, man. They were getting. Rico was running the ball hard Thursday night, and it was just like you run it one time. He gets 7 yards, and then you want to pass the ball 2 times.
With that, Brian, that comes down. But that comes down. Some guys the only want to agree with me on this. That comes down to the offensive brain trust. So that's the head coach. That's the offensive. But that's the quarterback too. He's not a rookie. He's an 8-year vet. He get all the boy.
Yeah, but if you give me 2 play, if the 2 plays you giving me is a check to another pass play, like. Give me a run in the pass option. It's like when I was watching the all 22.
But that comes down to the entire week of the game plan that he needs. And tell them I don't like this, but that's guessing because I don't really know what goes on in the room. I just think that's something that should be said, but it's hard to say. We guessing, but I do agree with you. 35 to me is too much.
I think he do say something, and when you see him with that damn disgusted look on his face, that's when it's like, man, we talked about this during the week.
I know, man.
You done come with this. You done come with this BS, and now you want me to doggone play Superman. That's what I think when you see them doggone looks.
I don't know, Chris.
I like y'all. I got 100% belief in my quarterback.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you clear. I can hear you clear, man. Can you hear me?
Your thoughts.
Yep.
Yeah, your thoughts. What do you have to
say?
Hey
man, y'all have like covered almost the whole plate, but I think really the problem is you turned around and we've forgotten the one thing. They love being the team of relevance, and that comes from the top. So I think you squandered 3 years of 12-5. Where you could have turned around and got to this ultimate goal of getting this big monkey off your back about the NFC Championship and winning the Super Bowl. But I think this whole thing started when they want to just dominate the headlines. So the state of your team is if I'm not dominating the headlines, it doesn't matter to them because we don't really care about winning. We just care about being relevant.
Is it they or is it he?
It's he.
Okay.
It's he because
Yeah.
they're it's he, and as long as he's in position, it's going to stay that way. And honestly, for me, and I said this, me and my man Brandon, Frankly Football, I said the greatest thing that could ever happen is that Steven and Jerry go see Jesus together, and Charlotte is put in charge because I need somebody who does not want to be in the spotlight.
I don't know if I want Charlotte in charge. But,
No.
I see what he's saying. Though.
I
Good point.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but I want somebody who doesn't want to talk to the media after games. I need somebody who want to put people
100%.
do football, let them be football. And see, it's hard when we try to say, well, Jerry and Steven aren't football guys because they've been around it for 20 some odd years. So when they mind, they football guys.
I mean,
So,
it's quite obvious Jerry's not a football guy.
No, but you ain't gonna tell him that because he gonna say my gold jacket said. I know you gonna tell him. I know he probably won't like tell him.
Everybody else is going. The media,
Right.
the media.
But his gold jacket says you can't. His gold jacket says you can't talk about the NFL or tell the story of the NFL without me because of what I did. But let's get back. I'm gonna get off of him because that's a mute point. I think what ends up happening.
No, but that's still a good point of what you're saying, though. That's a culture thing.
That's a culture thing.
Because we got guys doing podcasts and media shows and things like that. So, like you said, it does. That trickles down to the team. Hot Boys, remember? You guys remember?
Oh
that?
man, I mean, you've had a bevy of things trickle down.
You extend a linebacker, and at the same time he has the extension of linebacker, he has a release for his sunglasses. So all of that stuff,
right? All of that, yeah. I'm trying to make deals. I'm trying to live to the next level instead of just, hey, I'm gonna stay here playing football and be the best football player I can. Then everything else will happen after that. Going back to what y'all said about addressing certain things. Nobody that and we've all heard this said. Nobody that they want have they ever gotten rid of. That they really want they've ever gotten rid of. So go sign guys early so you can manipulate this thing called the cap the best way possible. And they haven't done that. You knew CD was never going anywhere. You knew Rain was never going anywhere. So if that was the case, go and sign them, get that money freed up, and go do this. Just go do certain things you know you're going to do. And make it easier for your team to go ahead and build. I think you don't have an easy button in your offense. And the easy button, I mean, is, and this is going way back, and John, me and you talked about this a long time ago. They don't have a Cole Beasley. They don't have a guy who can get free for 5 to 7 yards and just make it easy. Sometimes
he was always Dak's third down, safety valve, third and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You can always get
absolutely
him that, but he doesn't have
that. And that's why I think you're going to stay at 25 passes. I think you can go 35, 40 if you have to, because that's what Patrick can do and things that. But Patrick has easy buttons in his offense. So right now you've got an offense that's antiquated. You have a run scheme that's old. You have a team that doesn't use any pre-snap motion to confuse anybody or change the eyes of the linebacker, which makes it easier for him to say, I'm going to locate him, and I go from there. So you do have CD, dynamic player. You got Jake Ferguson, very, very serviceable. But you don't have a slot guy who makes it to the point he's going to get open. So if it's 2nd and 8, he can make it third and 2. He can make it like that. And so that's what puts so much pressure on your quarterback to be amazing. So as you know, with Tony had that one guy that could do that and made it a little bit easier. And so when you're trying to come back, if I'm a cover of Witten, if Dez is fighting to get over the top, hey, let me drop it over to him. And then I can worry about the bad guy, the last guy, the Laurent Robinson, whomever else is on the backside.
A little bit with those two that you mentioned. You talk about Jason Witten. Me and Willie used to talk about that. He's sick. What was he? 6'6" or 265? And then you have Dez Bryant, 6'3", or 2'6",
6'3", yeah, 215, 220.
Yeah, so you don't have any bully type of pass catching threats. that can help as well. I mean, CD is more a little slender type build, Isaac Bruce type. The other two guys, Turpin and Cooks, are much more smaller. There isn't, like Don said, if you have a quarterback who not the most accurate at times, you need somebody with a large catch rating.
Well,
so
the guy who's most physically imposing. I'm sorry, I'm like fading the shadows. I'm gonna turn the light on in a second. The most physically imposing guy you have is Flournoy right now, and he's on the bench, and because he's a rookie. But I just think they threw everything to the point of saying we were 12-5 3 years in a row. We're gonna, and so for us to get to the next place and to make this guy feel like it's pressure on him. And it's pressure on everywhere else. It just ain't no pressure on the front office to do certain things they need to do. And so you cannot try to play or try to build something in a league where everybody else is using every tool available to them and you're not. Everybody's using free agency. And it doesn't say you have to go out the first week and sign somebody to the highest amount of money. But me liking my guys isn't helping me get to this stigma of not getting to the NFC Championship. Me liking my guys doesn't make me to the point that I'm saying I'm taking steps to go to the next level. So going back to what you say, you have Dono, you got Hooker. Why do we sign it? But you got Wanye over there. Wanye ain't even hardly touching the field unless it's special teams or something crazy.
Last time he started was last year, week 1. Him and Bell.
Right. So I got Bell on the bench from last year who played out of position and was serviceable, and I'm watching Dono get beat over the top with a speed guy. It's just certain things, man, that you want to say, okay, this guy has been here for this long. That's great, and it's commendable. But for me to win and go to the next level, I've got to keep bringing in more talent, and I've got to work in every phase. Getting guys out of the USFL is not working to the phase of building my team. Okay, getting players at the bottom bin of the Walmart, hey, I'm waiting to after the draft till these guys get cut is not working in the big pool of players, and that's what they keep doing. I didn't want Derrick Henry either because Derrick Henry couldn't run well in this run scheme. You follow me?
I think he has I think he has more treads on his tire. I'd rather get a young running back. Since you're paying premium, you have to go with the draft. But some they do too. They'll have talented. Some guys I think can play, and then sit them on the bench, and then they'll get their third year, and you really don't know what they can do. And then if you see what they do, then you kind of overvalue them a little bit. And then by the time they're deal, then you extend. It's like we're going.
I just think they want to win the storyline. You want to win the storyline. You go get a linebacker with a blown out knee, a totally destroyed knee, right? And you draft him for the storyline. But the very next pick, Miles Jack, who was probably the best linebacker in that draft that year, is sitting right there. And the reason you say you don't take him is because you think, well, he hasn't had any cards on his knee. But the guy's been in the league. The guy's been in the league 10 years. And well, at least 8. You see what I'm saying? So you want to win the storyline. Deuce Vaughn wins the storyline of that draft. It's the heartwarming feeling of the story of the father calls his son and he comes brings him to work. That bullshit. We want to win the storyline. We ain't trying to win football games. So for me, this thing of can these guys do certain things? It's not about can they do certain things. You got to quit trying to paint this magical story of what it is. And the story is go get some bona fide players in certain positions. You lucked up and got overshown. Yeah. I really believe you lucked up and got overshown. I think you.
I don't know. They did scout him. He wasn't in-house. He was an in-house visit.
Okay. But
actually, if anybody look, Wanye has a great story. They just don't talk about it. But everybody has a story.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, everybody got a story. But I'm just looking at, you can pretty much tell the guys they're gonna bring in or draft is from their 30-30 visit. That's pretty much been kind of like where they're going. And then I think you wait too late to discover things that you have a guy in your building that you should already know. They knew for years Tyron was not a practice every day, practice 3 times a week guy. make sure he's healthy, get him to the game. You can give him the 13. You did 3 years where that dude did 1-7 and I think 2.
Well,
You know what I'm
man, Dog was the person that wanted to move on for him for years. So
I mean, we might have been wanting to move on from him, but you still had to get another guy there to replace him or put somebody there to train to get him to that point. But to just go cold turkey, cut him, bring a guy who in the first round is going to need a year, maybe a year and a half, right? In a must-win year is asinine to me. You see what I'm saying?
Guyton would be fine. I don't have a problem with Guyton. I don't have a problem.
I do have a problem with Guyton.
I don't
because I have a problem with Guyton being on the left side, being my quarterback's backside guy. Because last time I tried a guy who we were experimenting with, he got his hand broken and we missed him for 4 or 5 games, and we kind of with this all bullshit with the Cooper Rush thing. So
yeah, but here's the thing: if you throwing the ball 55, I think if you throwing the ball 55 times and you asking young offensive line, that's just not helping them. So there are things they can do from a coach. No one had any problems with him in week 1. I mean, so it's always going to be a little bit of a struggle, but that's a coaching thing. I have no problems with Guyton. He's going to be a player.
My only problem with I have no problems long term with Tyler Guyton. I don't. Just like I have no long term issues with Tyler Smith. It's my first year guy. I'm throwing him out in the fire. He's going to catch. He's gonna make mistakes. I expect that. But I can make that transition a whole hell of a lot easier with certain things.
I get what you're saying. But what about if you would have kept Tyron? He would have blew his knee out, or got an injury or something like he's had.
I was already knowing he was going. I always knew he was always going to be hurt. I always knew he was going to have some issue. Right. So
that's what I'm saying. I don't even want to keep him. Move on.
I don't have a problem with the fact that matter that because anybody can get hurt at any given time. Shit, both of your pass rushers
but he has a history of it. The last time he played a full season healthy was 2015.
Right, but he gave me 13 solid last year, and I really think he probably won a whole year. They just weren't trying to pay the money, which kind of funny with me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For at least I think 8 years.
No, 3 years. I told you. 3 years in a row.
Played the equivalent of like 3 years. So it's like
what I'm saying in the last 3 years, that Joker gave me 1, 7, and 2, something crazy. It was an asinine number. so I'm just being I see what you're saying, but you turn around last year, he gives you a solid 13. And
that's an enigma. That's an enigma. Move on.
Yeah, that's outlier.
That's an enigma. Sure. I'm not in. I get what you're saying though about the moves. That one.
Yeah.
I wanted to get rid of him Willie would know. I wanted to get rid of him a long time.
I mean, I understand cut your losses and move on. I know you want to cut, but see, so you want to cut your losses with Tyron. But you ain't trying to cut your losses with Dono and get him off the field and put one year.
Yeah. Yo, boy, he want to trade Dono. Everybody on here want to trade Dono. We want to get Dono out of here.
I kicked the hornet's nest with Dono.
My brothers will tell you. I want to
have an advocate here.
Last year, I did not keep old.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact they gave him the contract, but yeah, I don't have an advocate here.
That was the most surprising thing that we got what 2 years or a year ago. They seeing that contract, we were like, what, $8 million to Dono?
They can trade Dono for a long snapper right now. I just need Dono.
Here's the only problem with that though. If they trade him, because I looked at it, if they trade him, that's a $10 million hit. So they're not going to trade him. He's on the team this year. They have to deal with that. That was just a bad re-sign. If he was on a team with an elite pass rush that could stop the run, but still, I still wouldn't give him $8 million. You can find a safety that's better than him. They found him in the 6th round.
You got guys that you brought in. You got guys that's on your bench. Bell and Wanye Thomas are better right now. And I'm with you on that.
He's a defensive Jason Witten.
Ooh,
he's a progress stopper.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
a progress stopper.
He is that.
He is a progress stopper.
So my state. My state is. We're not. I don't believe we're. No, I know. I don't. It's not. I believe. I know we're not. A playoff team. I don't think we're a heavyweight contender. And my problem is I don't believe my front office is going to do the things necessary for me to get back to that. And it's going to take what we as most Cowboy fans aren't willing to deal with, because we dealt with it 1 year and we damn near lost our minds. It's going like 4-12, and getting into the top 5 to be in that position, especially now when you got the highest paid quarterback in the game and the highest paid wide receiver.
He won't be.
No, he won't. Yeah, he's gonna be here for about a minute or two, but that's gonna be just and what happens is that the media pushes that. But you're right. You need to be in that 5-12 frame with all of these compensatory picks, so you can flush out some things and get some. But that goes with going and getting a new coach. That means going and getting a new philosophy. And that means
I'm gonna piggyback off of that one. So since you start you last, I'm gonna ask you this, but everybody can answer. Does McCarthy survive beyond this season?
No, he doesn't.
Nah.
He doesn't. He doesn't survive because the game has passed him, and it's okay. It's okay that the game has gone past him. He had a great tenure as a coach. And he has to move on. He can go back to the barn. He can go back to wherever he needs to go and look the game over. But the game has passed him. The game, if a guy isn't coming out of certain trees and doing certain things, the game is passing. You have got to change your running scheme. You got to change your run. Well, first off, go get a real live running back. And there's and the sad part about it is, my son plays Division I ball, so I'm looking at running backs all over the country, and I'm like, yeah, I want one of them guys, any of them, compared to me bringing back a guy who owes $6 million on a dead deal, and he's not that guy anymore. Probably your best running back on the team is probably Kevontae Turpin, but you're not going to put him back there because he's small. I mean, I just need somebody with some juice. But
I think Rico is your best running back, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's the guy you should have back there.
The problem with this team is they've been running the same offense for 15 years. They've been running the same offense for 15 years. This is Jason Garrett, Linehan offense. This is not even Mike McCarthy. That's the problem with Mike McCarthy is you're not even running your own offense. How can I respect you anymore? I don't see any West Coast concepts in this darn offense. It's nothing. If he's running, I don't think. In fact, I mean, like I said before, with them, the only difference is with them and now.
Hold on. I don't want to talk about offensive philosophy. I just wanted to stay on whether or not the coach is going to survive.
No, he's not going. He's not going to survive. He needs to be fired.
If that is the case, who do you think he hires? I know it's early.
You already know he's going to go after, John.
The media won't be able
to. He's going to dust him off, man. He's going to dust him off.
He's going to go after him. He's not going to do something that he needs to do, which is go after. They go after Johnson. You need to go after the guy in Detroit.
Other people can't are not in our conversation. So who's he?
Who's Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson would take this job. But this is the type of job that Ben Johnson wants. He wants the big one of the big teams. I'm telling you, that's what he would take this Cowboy job. But the Cowboys are not going to go after him. They're going to go after Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I think they want to go get a guy who's got they're not going to go take a guy who's inexperienced, which is crazy. But they want a guy who's had time and all that kind of stuff. And
that's funny. Hold on, that's funny you said that. And they hired Jason Garrett and they stayed with him for a decade.
But Jason Garrett was like their extension.
He's one of their own.
One of their children. He's one of their children. He's one of their guys. He's one of the guys who was in the lore of them winning Super Bowls. But for you to go and turn the page, you got to go find somebody totally out of the building. But that's what Jerry and Steven don't want to do. That's why I keep saying
Mike McCarthy was not in the building.
No, not just. I'm talking about you got to go against somebody that ain't whooped your ass. I mean, it's just they got to go get somebody young, fresh, and innovative to
Give me,
go get somebody.
Drop a name. Drop a name.
I mean, listen. I'm to the point. I like Ben Johnson. I'm almost to the point, and it's crazy. I'd go all the way down to JMU and go get the Shanahan kid that's running that offense. I'm gonna go get somebody that's running a more innovative offense than what we've been running for the last 3 years. Like,
15.
I'm not okay. 15. You know, this thing that you thought you could find, what's bounced around with Kellen Moore and the things that he's done. Okay, that shine is worn off. I just want to go get somebody who's gonna give me some motion, pre-snap motion, change my running scheme, and things of that nature.
You guys, though, but do you think that's the problem from a coaching perspective?
Offensively, yeah.
Yeah.
Offensively, yeah. Offensively, our offense is dated. And I'm gonna go so far as to say this, and I ain't heard nobody say it. I think that's why our defense has a problem stopping the run game, because
I mean, if
they
you don't
don't
practice against
see,
something, you can't
they
stop
don't see this stuff
Of course.
in practice. They don't see it.
That's why we
So when I don't see motion, when I don't see none of this stuff, when I don't practice against this stuff, it's hard for me to come into a game and it kills me as far as my eye discipline and everything, because we don't practice against none of this modern style.
I got that. I know you guys are talking philosophy, but do you think that's the root of the problem of the past coaches? I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna just say after Parcells and pre-Parcells and post-Jimmy. Do you think that's the problem?
Jason Garrett had no nuts. I'm just gonna say that.
What else?
Jason Garrett.
I know that. We trying to be fan friendly here. Elaborate.
Okay, 2016 playoffs versus Green Bay.
Right.
That came out flat. Started dealing. You got a chance to put this team away. You driving.
No. I'm not talking.
You got a chance to put them away.
No. I'm not talking. Stinks. I'm not talking any of that. It's just something Chris has said we talked about. Is you have an owner, and then you have to. I'm talking about from a coach who is happy to get the job, and a coach who wants to win. There's two different. To me, there's
two different, totally different monsters.
I don't know how creative. You know, I don't get too much into the creativity. I know there are things they can do differently. I agree with Willie. The offense has been that way, but I think the biggest problem is that there are coaches who allow Jerry to do whatever he wants, and there's been two coaches who have been opposed to him doing anything that he wants, and those two coaches have built better rosters for him. They would just. I think the biggest problem with Parcells, he was old. I think by the time we got him, he was old. But the roster was good. He was the only person that spoke football. Jerry didn't do interviews back then. We already know the thing with Jimmy. But the thing with Wade, and I think the thing with McCarthy, and I think the thing with Jason, and the thing with Dave Campos, and the thing with Barry Switzer, they were all just happy to have
a job. Yep, happy to have a job.
You ever notice Jerry's worst dealings it's been on the very beginning. Do you guys remember in 2008 the special teams draft?
Oh God!
The absolute. I thought it was 13. It was 13 of them, right?
Let's look at last year's draft, and let's look at some of the stuff in the past. Have you noticed? And we all know some of the guys, like some of the head coaching. You ever notice that it seems like some of the coordinators may have more influence on what goes on in the draft? And so you reach for a Tristan Hill who seems like a prototypical player that Rod would like, but that's not your job. Your job is to coach. Your job
Rod shouldn't have never had any say so on nobody when you turned around and took Taco Charlton and TJ Watson right there.
It's hard for that one. No, it's hard for that one because some people say Jason was the one who liked Taco.
TJ wouldn't be the TJ we see today if he was drafted by the Cowboys.
You know what? I would just rather have that.
You know what, Brian? I will slightly.
I would just like to see if that problem would be true.
Because I remember Chicago had a strong side linebacker. I can't remember his name right off. And no, he was a pass rusher. And this guy had a 12 sack season, 11 and 10. I thought that would have fit. But I just don't understand some of the stuff that's said, and it just seems like people are okay with some of the stuff that he does. McCarthy told us I would call the plays, but then you have Kellen calling them for 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
That should make the coach.
Well, that's a part of you being the coach. Like, and then last year we're running out safeties as linebackers. Like, you're the head coach. You may not be the defensive coordinator, but you're the head coach. You should know what the vision of your team is. And I don't want to stop there. We can talk about Wade Phillips. We all know Jerry walked over him. And some of the moves. Do you guys think Jason was okay with Greg Hardy? Did it indicate that he wanted him on the team?
Nah. Right.
Nah. But I'll take a Greg Hardy type player right now. I mean, just a chance to go get a guy that can change your offense.
What I'm saying is, not if he's that type, that Greg Hardy.
Not if he's the guy that's not going to take accountability for the bullshit that he did. No, I don't want
not off the field, not off the field, Greg Hardy, but on the field, Greg Hardy.
No.
That player that on the field.
I think you're thinking of the guy with the Panthers. I'm talking about the Greg Hardy that showed
up. The guy with Panthers. The guy with the Panthers was the guy that was broke, that was trying to get paid. The guy that we got paid, and he didn't have the same burn. That was my problem.
Right. I think a head coach, and I don't think Jerry will ever do this, but we need to have a head coach as the only voice of the football team.
Oh, hell no. That's
gonna be the problem.
That's only it happened if Charlotte's in charge. I'm sorry, dog. I'm getting a shirt. Charlotte needs to be in charge. He's never gonna do that.
Here's the thing. We're not gonna win.
Yeah.
We're not gonna win.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, because the teams that are winning, we damn near don't know who the owners are.
I don't know.
Dude.
Well, I know the Hunts. Well, here's the thing. I know.
We know the Hunts Kansas City.
I know the Hunts.
I didn't even know that.
I couldn't point his ass out if my
I would know if I saw him.
Point his ass out. I'm gone.
The ownership in Detroit. They said
it's the Fords.
It's Ford Firestone.
Right, but it's not that. It was just something someone said that was the ownership. And I thought, like, this is refreshing. And I don't know who it was. It was a woman. And she said, we couldn't continue doing what we're doing for us to be successful.
She's the owner. She's the owner. The female is the owner in
and that's when they brought in Dan, and they just rolled with him.
Yeah, because she took over. She took over from I think her mom was the owner or something like that before that. And then mom stepped down and she took over.
Every person has more pressure when they know they can lose their damn job. When the GM has no pressure, right? That he's not gonna get a check, he moves in a different manner and he allows people to do what they're supposed to do. Jerry loved the fucking spotlight, man.
Yeah, he does.
He loves it. And because he does it,
his ego is very driven. He does not empower his coaches. He does not empower.
So you look at the heavyweight. You look at the heavyweight teams or the teams that are coming. You got young, fresh, innovative folk. You got the Polk kid in Chicago. He's gonna turn that around. Detroit's gonna be okay.
Hold on, Chicago. You mean the Bears?
No.
Hey, look, I think the Bears.
I'll put a pause on that one, brother.
Okay, I think they're gonna be fine.
Green Bay.
I love their defense, but I'm not sure about Caleb yet. I gotta see more.
Yeah,
of course.
He needs an offensive coach. He needs an offensive coach.
I'm in Chicago. I see this. I don't know yet. That one I have to put a pause.
Okay. But all I'm saying is you're gonna have to change some certain things. I hate to kind of go and what y'all saying is having an offensive coach. And I'm kind of in the same situation. Sometimes you do need an offensive coach at the head of the organization, but DeMeco Ryans ain't an offensive guy.
I mean, I'm not. Let me throw my head in. I'm not a.
But he got
head coaches.
He got a good OC though. His OC is real
that's
good.
What I'm saying. So all I'm saying is, but I don't. But these teams we're talking about, I don't know who the owner for the Lions are. I have no clue who the owner for the 49ers are. I have no clue who the owner of the Rams are. I'm all these teams that are going to be in the playoffs. I don't know who the hell they owner or GM is.
Stan Kroenke for the Rams.
Okay.
Now, I know the GMs. I just don't know the owners.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
point taken though.
Yeah,
Point taken.
but he's
Yeah.
he's the only GM in the league that's gotta talk every damn week. I don't want to hear him. You're right. When Parcells was the only voice, well, the main voice, yeah, we were different. You gotta have some fear that your livelihood is on the line, and that man has none, and that's why you get a lot of I attitude because or I mindset. I'm gonna take care of me. I ain't gonna wear, in the morning words, remember the Titans, I ain't gonna wear myself out for the team. I'm gonna get my numbers and do what's best for me. And attitude reflects leadership.
Attitude reflects leadership. I love that.
Yeah, man. Attitude reflects leadership.
Yeah, Willie pointed that out when CD got on there, and he said, "Let's get these passes and sign these checks." So I was like, "All right, yeah." So Belichick is the consensus here among you guys? You believe that's the next head coach?
Nah. Kellen Moore and Matt Eberflus gonna be offensive coordinators.
Shit. God damn.
It's not gonna be Kellen Moore. I don't know who's going to be, to be honest with you. I know Belichick.
I know it's early. We'll have a better vision.
Belichick. I know Belichick is probably the biggest name outside of these coordinators like a Bobby Slowick or in Houston or Ben Johnson in Detroit. But I don't know. It's tough to say right now.
I mean, based on the history of how he's did things, you can't.
Well, if you want to go based on history,
yeah, I'm not talking about if we was in charge. I'm talking about what you think is going to happen based on the owner.
It's gonna be Bill. You can go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. If it's not going to be Bill Belichick, and my only problem with Bill Belichick is the fact that Belichick is Parcells all over again. Okay, I'm not saying that's a problem, but I don't know if he gets hired. It might be a Ron Rivera.
Hold on. Let's piggyback to that.
Whoa.
What do you mean by a Belichick, a Parcells all over again? Elaborate.
So what I mean by that is like we all just said, Belichick loves football. Belichick wants to win.
Yes.
Belichick wants to be the main voice.
Yes.
But Jerry's not going to. Yes, even though he has skins on the wall, just like Mike McCarthy has skins on the wall, I don't think he's going to hire Belichick because I think McCarthy and Belichick are opposite when it comes to wanting to be that voice. If anything, if there's a coach he wants that has coaching experience, it would be a Ron Rivera type of coach. I'm not saying it's going to be him. It's going to be him exactly. But you got to think along the lines of a Ron Rivera type of coach.
Ooh.
Sorry.
I put a bag over my face.
I see everybody's reaction. Hey, look, my reaction, same thing. But you got to think realistically until proven otherwise.
True, but I don't know if Rivera will set the needle as far as how Jerry likes to do his splashes. I think Belichick will probably be his guy, how desperate he is. But I do wonder about Bill being older. That it would be like the Parcells thing in a sense. Do you have the fire belly? And is he more willing to conform more so now than he did before?
I tell you what, I'll take Belichick if he brings in a good offensive coordinator.
When's he done that, though? When's he done that? When's he done that? I mean,
that's why I'm just telling you what I want. I'm telling you what I want. Go get the tight end coach from New Orleans that's under Clint Kubiak right now. Go get the assistant coach in San Francisco right now to be the offensive coordinator. Something.
Yeah, but usually head coaches don't do that. Usually they always hire within a tree.
I know they do. But what I'm saying is, don't if you go give me Belichick, give me one of those Shanahan guys to be the offensive coordinator, not Josh McDaniels.
The Shanahan tree, in my opinion, is getting a little thin, bro. Like I want to get from the Shanahan tree, but it's only so many live branches you gonna get off that tree because the kid down in Miami ain't doing very well.
The kid down in Miami just got a quarterback that's fragile. But go ahead.
Yeah, but even when his quarterback was playing, he couldn't win no big games. He about like Mike McCarthy. He can beat up on the sisters of the poor, but he's like 1 in 15 or something like that. I don't know the exact stat, but he's one in the teens as far as winning versus winning teams, and the only team he beat was us last year. So like I want an innovative guy, but I think we need a head coach that can settle this franchise down a little bit.
You
I'm
talking about
with the Bill
culture?
Belichick move. I'm with the Bill Belichick move, but I don't think he's gonna hire Bill Belichick because if he hires Bill Belichick, it's not gonna put lights on him. Because then all of a sudden,
You got to
people are
move
gonna be
back.
talking about Bill
Yeah.
Belichick instead of talking
Yep.
about Jerry Jones. Everybody's gonna want to know what Bill got going on instead of worrying
I mean,
about Jerry
but
Jones.
hold on. I'm not gonna say he is, but Parcells is known to be more difficult than Belichick, and he did hire
Yeah,
Parcells.
and he hired Parcells, but you heard a lot more about Parcells
No,
than
I'm
you
not
did about than you did about.
I'm not
You heard a
denying
lot more
that.
about Parcells than you did about Jerry. Jerry
I'm
don't
not
like that.
denying that. I'm
So
not
you
denying
so
that.
you bring in Belichick. It's gonna be more about Belichick. It's gonna be more about the Patriot to Cowboys way and this and that. I mean, I think Bill from a defensive standpoint will be great. I think Bill won't do what Mike McCarthy said he was doing in that barn, which I think he wasn't doing nothing but eating Cheetos and lying. He wasn't watching no football because he didn't come in with no innovative offense. He didn't come in changing nothing. He didn't come in learning from games because what I see is an archaic offense. I think Bill, from a football standpoint, he's one of the brightest minds ever to coach. But if you get him in Dallas, Jerry gonna have to move out the way. Jerry got to. I don't. Bill ain't gonna want to sit up there on that podium with Steven on one side and Jerry on the other side. I need both of y'all to just sit in the audience. Like
If you go
that's what needs to happen in Dallas. Like
if you
I
go
agree.
them
get
two need to go.
if you go get Bill, you do the one thing I said before. You dominate the storyline. So now Bill comes to Dallas so that he can go past Shula's record, and that dominates the storyline.
Oh
That's the
Lord.
splash. I'm telling you right now, that's what they're gonna do. It's gonna be about him catching and passing Shula, right? And that's gonna be
But Chris,
everything.
but
Go
Chris,
ahead.
him passing Shula, that's skins on the wall he achieved way before.
It don't make a difference where he does it. Where he eventually does it puts the spotlight on the Cowboys. Bill Belichick, head of the Dallas Cowboys, becomes an all-time winningest coach in NFL history with the Cowboys being a part of it. That's the storyline. That's what Jerry wanted. So I'm just telling you, you're gonna get him, right? Because it's gonna be the aura of that happening. Yeah, he won all that shit somewhere else, but him breaking the record in Dallas is gonna be what Jerry wants because Jerry wants to be part of the story. He wants to be part of the story.
I'm not denying that that's the story, but I don't think that's the story he wants. I think he wants to win without Jimmy.
But that ain't gonna never happen.
I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
But we're almost 30 years removed from that winning without Jimmy.
Hey, man, I tell me,
yeah. But so
He won without Jimmy though.
No.
He wants to win without.
Everybody's
Jimmy's
always
players.
said those were Jimmy's players.
That was Jimmy's.
I mean,
players.
me personally, Brian, I don't care. Like, it wouldn't matter to me if you was my head coach. And I'm the owner. I'm staying out your way. All I'll say is what you need, what you want. And
no, because the only and I'm gonna be totally honest. I think the only reason we turned around and won those years is because that joke was just trying to keep from being losing everything. So he was focused on doing everything else where he didn't have to deal with football and let that up to Jimmy. But it was also a different.
90, you talking about 95 or 93 and 90, 92,
91, 92, yeah. When they turned it around,
during that time he was repaying the loan. In 95,
so he was out there kissing babies, doing whatever he had to do to get that loan paid. But once that happened, he knew the loan was gonna be paid. Oh, then he wanted to go back to his glory days in Arkansas when he was a center and all that bullshit. But all I'm saying is that's the storyline that's going to end up happening because that puts the spotlight on him. And you go from the wheeling and dealing to the penny pinching guy with Steven. So I mean, man, we in a bad.
I'll say this about Steven. I have to be
Mhm.
fair in this. I have to see him run the team by himself to get a full understanding how he would run the team. That's just to me as a fairness. Like, he's with his daddy. I know a lot of guys who don't like to oppose their fathers. I do remember a lot of the deals Jerry did before Steven was involved. 2 first-round picks for Troy Galloway, 3 picks for Roy Williams. I remember a lot of the bad stuff he did without us.
Yeah.
I have to wait until I see his son run it by himself. Now, we know what they can do together, but that's just being fair. I like to be fair. That's like if we got more weapons for Prescott, we've seen what he can do, and we see what he can't do with it. So that's just being a fair thing. Okay. But any closing thoughts? Because we got Georgia and Bama coming up in 10 minutes. I got 2 Georgia fans on here.
Well, they're about to lose their mind. They got to go see it.
I'm close to
whoa. Go back. Not to cut you out. We about to do what?
I said,
oh, gosh.
We about to lose our mind.
We about to lose our minds. For what?
Oh, that was something that Chris said. Oh,
what?
Chris?
I want. What you said? What you said? We about to lose our minds.
Yeah. Y'all about to go lose your minds, man. Y'all about to go. I mean, listen. I've had to sway into the college world a little bit more than the pro world, but yeah, it's going. Kirby got to get over the hump. Kirby got to beat this team. He got to go beat this team. He got to.
I agree with you.
To go get your bicycle back, you got to go punch the bully in the mouth. And the bully lived down in Tuscaloosa. He lived down in Tuscaloosa.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I don't disagree.
I mean, for the college fans, for the people who are not as educated with your references, why don't you just flat out say what you got to say?
Listen, man. You turned around last year. You got to the SEC championship.
Who turned around?
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia.
Georgia. No, I mean, some people are not going to pick up these references.
Okay. So let me get this. Georgia was pronounced to being the best team in the country last year.
Right.
They weren't.
No, they weren't.
They
weren't.
They weren't.
Because they weren't, because the best team in the country ended up being in Michigan, and you just didn't get the chance to go play them. So you turn around the team that you have to exercise, the demon you have to exercise is Alabama. You got to beat Alabama, but the problem is this year you got a guy in Columbus that know if he don't win it this year, he definitely gonna be out on the street. So I don't think, and then there's 2 other teams in the country that I think can play with Georgia.
Ryan Day.
I don't really have.
Ryan Day. If Ryan Day don't win this year,
but in fairness, the way college football is set up, it's not necessarily like the NFL. It's hard to say if Michigan was the best team because they didn't play Georgia. So
but
they
that's Georgia's fault.
They were the national.
That's
champ.
Georgia's fault. Yeah, that's Georgia. They got the big bottle of hot sauce.
Is it though?
Yeah, because you gotta go beat
Alabama.
Hold on
a second. Wait a minute, Chris.
What about TCU from the year before that? What about TCU when they lost? They were the best team. They were the number 1 team. They lost. They lost in the playoff, or they lost the first game, the championship game, and then they still ended up playing for the national championship.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Were they? I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, last year you supposed to beat Alabama. You've been the number 1 team in the country.
TCU didn't beat.
TCU
didn't win either.
You go beat Tricky Nick. Go beat the guy that's been taking your lunch money. He's been taking your lunch money in the big games.
Well, not all.
Nick ain't there no more, dog. Nick ain't there no more. You do know that, right?
I know Nick ain't there. I know Nick ain't there. But
man, they got a running back and quarterback, and you over here talking this much, man.
Hold on.
He ain't no running back and quarterback no more. You been watching this man play lately?
He is a running back playing quarterback.
Let a naysayer know. Let a naysayer know. Is not no running back. That's
we gotta stop. We gotta stop putting that label on black quarterbacks, bro.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Stop putting that label on black quarterbacks.
No,
Stop putting that label on black quarterbacks.
no, guys. This ain't got to do no label, bro. This is about whether you can throw the football or not. This is about whether you can throw
he
the
can
football.
throw it though.
Have you been watching him
If he can run the
lately?
ball better, if he can run the ball better than he can throw it, he looks like a running back to me. Plain and
Have you
simple.
been watching him lately?
He got a body like a running back. He doesn't got.
Have
He
you been
don't even
watching
got
him lately?
No, he
his
has not.
throwing motion.
He's
His throwing
much better,
motion.
man.
Look,
He is
his
way
throwing motion.
better.
I just watched him the other week. He looks the same to me. He is still. He is not an accurate passer. I'm sorry, dog. I mean, shoot. Y'all talk about it. Y'all mad at people being saying the things about Lamar. Lamar hasn't improved as a passer since his second year. So yeah,
you're right. I agree with that. I agree with that. But his ability to run.
We're getting off topic. Like we're doing
I don't call it like I see it. He's playing running back.
Hold on, we get completely off topic. Coach Williams think we crazy. We get completely off topic there. Let's stay with it. We'll do a stream with the national championship. We're just trying to wrap it up. We got,
I'm just trying to say it's not a stigma on running quarterbacks. It's just on a black quarterback.
You doing what I asked you not to. You're going off topic. Stay on topic. We'll do this. We'll do a college stream. We got plenty of big games. So appreciate everybody joining in.
Man.
Anybody got closing thoughts? Coach Williams, you got closing thoughts?
Man, at the end of the day, until I'm showing something different, we're not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. Not this year, not next year, not 5 years. We might as well just go ahead and just relax and just watch and just see what happens, man. But and like I said, you got to show me. You got to show me.
I agree.
I agree with that. Hey man, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm gonna second that.
I'm gonna go with Willie last. He's been waiting. Don, closing thoughts.
Same thing. I mean, yeah, we got a tough stretch ahead of us. I'll just say that.
Okay,
before we
Chris.
get the right person.
Hey man, I'm just going to enjoy football, man.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do, man. Just enjoy it.
I'm just got to enjoy it because I know I'm in a relationship that I'm not really. I'm not an upper tier team, and we're just gonna have to hopefully watch some guys develop and get better in the process. Next year, and see what they do this year. And but like Coach said, I'm with him. I don't think I'm anywhere close to being in that top 4, top 2 teams in the league, best teams in the league.
Not anytime soon. Nowhere near close either.
No, I don't.
Close is disputable.
I tell you what. We're good enough to probably win the division this year.
I don't think so.
Oh no! I don't think we got.
And I'm not even gonna mention the team that I think is gonna win.
I already know the team.
I know who you.
They're not.
Yeah, we'll talk about.
They're not gonna win it.
Yeah,
they're not gonna win it.
We're not even gonna mention no names or no other teams.
I know.
That's a whole different topic.
Start with C and end with S. I know
we ain't mentioning no letters. We ain't mentioning no colors.
That's why I say
we ain't gonna say what time zone they play.
No time
We're not gonna talk about what vicinity they might go at.
I don't want to do that. Willie,
I'm just gonna tell you they ain't gonna win it.
We ain't gonna. Willie, closing thoughts.
Oh, man, we get football 6-7 months out of the year. Enjoy your team, man, and watch for these young players. Let's see who can grow and be ready for the future of the Dallas Cowboys. And hopefully they let some of these safeties get out there and play football. Them Bell and Wanye should be out there playing. Now we're going to Marcus is down right now, so they're going to be playing time from Leland. Let's see what these young boys can step up and play football, and hopefully maybe Clark can start learning how to read. I'm
not his game, man.
I don't. I've pretty much.
Clark been doing. Clark been doing all right. But he's been doing a lot better than he was last year.
Right.
Yeah.
But
All
I'm
right, so
gonna
we're
say
gonna
something.
close this off. Thank you, people, and then we're gonna argue
But
off stream of our live. Yes, Willie.
I thought I would. You said you're gonna talk
Yeah,
after the
no, we're
live
about
stream.
to
I want to see what Beef finna say.
appreciate everybody who
Needham,
turned to tune
I
in.
think Needham
Appreciate
was
y'all,
playing
man.
better than Tank anyway.
Thank you.
You know what? You can make the argument. See, that's a good
We can
point.
make